I feel like we have to run this video back on this channel because this is a very layered situation, so many different complexities. What happens when your truth offends? Your truth is not what the world wants to hear. Grief, loss, shame, childhood trauma, all in one situation. Now, Allison is on this book tour. She's trying to get her thing together because she wants to write a book about her experience and shed light on mental health, what it's like to be a wife, a parent of someone who is living with mental health issues, being a wife whose husband ultimately came to terms with his mental health, that he could not really, be here anymore. And so all throughout this week, she has been getting dragged. Okay. There's been so much going around about this story, but I want to talk about it more from, sometimes people's truth is not what everyone wants to hear. And it is, it is her truth. The only people who know the realities and the truth are really, to me, the people in the marriage, what they were really facing. But let's get into it, okay? Now, first, let's listen to what she said in this interview.
A moment, I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out. But it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much. And there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone, because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want other people to take on his pain. But it was very alarming and scary to find those things and have never known. A moment.
Now, did we need to know this information? Okay. In some ways, as a therapist, I see her destigmatizing mental health, substance abuse, coping with the demons that are living inside of you. In this interview, she also speaks about some things that, tWitch maybe went through in his childhood. And so, like I said, in one part, I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's stop hiding from things. Let's, eliminate the what happens in my house stays in this house, and I don't bring it on the outside. But there's a human side of me also outside being a therapist. Like, would I want my information, like once I am no longer here, some of the hard things that I was facing, do I want the world to know that? Okay, because the world knew so much about my life. I put so much out there, but do they need to know more? What does that more do to my legacy, do to my children? And sometimes people hold things inside because they feel like a burden, because they don't know where to place that. Because somewhere in childhood, it was conditioned into me that I can't be my true self. I can't show up when I'm not feeling the greatest, the best, that we all saw switch over time. And so she's coming out with this book, and everybody has been dragging her. Okay, so she released this statement to fans of our family and friends. I want to be clear about my intentions in writing this book is to share my own story as part of my life with Stephen to help others. Just like you, I never knew what really happened. Even as I was trying to put together the pieces, I'll never really know. If you decide to read the book, hopefully you'll see my intentions is to celebrate the life I shared with Stephen and our 3 beautiful children, and also the more complex aspects of both our lives. So when you put a lot of your life out there in the public, people fall in love with the person you're putting out there. And I've always said that people fall in love and develop these parasocial relationships with people, and that you really don't know who they really are. You know what they put out there, you know what they want you to see. And tWitch was one of those people. I feel like he was tWitch, but he was also Stephen. And there were these demons inside of him, childhood pain, childhood hurts of who do I show up as? Okay. Do I show up as this lovable person that makes everyone happy when truly deep down inside me, I am hurting? And that is what a lot of people are facing. We're seeing more and more of the mental health crisis booming once again. Now, we saw it during the pandemic. We saw it explode, but I think people are not really paying attention to that it's happening again. Or did it ever stop? Okay, were we distracted by so many different things? But now that we're going into a new election, a new year, people's mental health is now becoming, it's escalating to a point where they can't hide it anymore. And so, as a therapist, yes, it's a good time to start having these conversations to navigate the truth, what people are going through, and sometimes how your mental health and your truth is not what people want to hear. And so, what do you do with that? What do you do with those feelings and emotions of what I'm going through, but not feeling like I have a place to process, a place to talk about it? She continues, in sharing, I hope this maybe can catch some of the red flags that I missed before it was too late. Over the course of the last 2 years, I've spoken in detail with NAMI as well as the Salam family and the Defense Line Foundation to better educate myself on mental health issues so that I can share warning signs with others. So all of my proceeds from this book, blah, 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 she's hoping that this will help another husband, another father, or another friend, not, in their, lives. Now, some people don't like that. Some people feel like this white woman is tarnishing this man's legacy. And I am familiar with therapy with Ash. She's a big person, mental health advocate in, I think, the Seattle area. She says this isn't the way. Sharing private journals is absolutely despicable. I wonder about the relationship with Allison and Nami, that they really know the depths of how much information she was going to share. Did we need to know all this information? How does it affect his children, his legacy? Is it about money? Is it about dollars? It seems like this man was not happy for quite some time. And as a therapist, I do understand that, sometimes there are lots of signs, sometimes there are no signs. But at one point, do you keep things private? The details. She could have said he was struggling. He had been struggling for a long time. And I realized once he passed away how much he was struggling without the details. You see how I did that? Okay. He was struggling. And I realized once he passed away, I found some more going through his belongings. I really got to understand a different side of him. I saw the hurt side. Once again, see how I did that without all those details. Okay. But yeah, they have been dragging her. All right. The whole thing makes me sad. He's gone. Why tear apart his name? I was fully supportive about you moving in and being happy. This paycheck is not worth disgracing his name. Now, it's also come out that she had people sign NDAs at the funeral, had the mama sign an NDA. And there has been, of course, so much rhetoric the last couple of years about there being a conspiracy theories about his passing, how she's keeping the kids away from his family. So once again, the person that the couple a lot of people fell in love with that was dancing and all that, they have their own secrets. They have their own things that they are going through. But I just don't understand the level of detail that is given out. Okay. It also makes me, as a therapist, think, did he have any safe spaces to really show up, to be authentic? Okay. To really talk about the things that he was experiencing and going through that he felt like he had to hide it. And they were married, was it 12, 13 years? I can't really remember. But imagine, you're going through so much and then your legacy. And that's what people are upset about. And it looks like she responded to this comment that I think this friend said, I always love you, just trying to help people feel safe and ask for help. You can help people feel safe and ask for help without maybe the details. Okay. I love you too. It's so hard to hear. And I imagine it can be easy for what you're going through. There's a lot of hate.
A moment I was with one of my really dear friends.
But even I believe like the brother is coming out, the mother is coming out saying different things. So even his mom has come out to break her silence about the backlash. And from what I remember hearing over the last 2 years, I think the mom hasn't really even seen their kids, her son's kids. She's breaking her silence about her late son. Our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims about my son. Wow. The recent publications spreading untruth about about Stephen has crossed every line of decency. As a mother, I will not let the accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He didn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. She talks about stepping away to probably process and grieve. You know, and it's only been 2 years, barely 2 years. I just, as a wife myself, if my husband had passed away, and I've been with my husband almost 15 years, I can't imagine in such a short amount of time to be out there dating again, with young children who are minors. And that trauma, the things that he never even shared with her, it makes me wonder about their relationship. It makes me wonder about the things people will do to make money. And I understand that the two of them together made a lot of money, but I also wonder about, you know, how she's doing financially now he's not there, if she really does, you know, need the money to support her kids, but at the cost of what? Okay, my primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren. But when I read those dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realized I could not stay silent any longer. Our family will ensure his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor. Signed, Connie Boss Alexander. What do you guys think? You know, do you think that this is really what he would have wanted? Do you think that something should just be kept private? Do we need to know everything about a person? There's so much information, there's so much access to information out there that I just wonder about why. And also, you know, I read another article about how her daughter was the last person to see him alive. Her oldest daughter, who was, I think, 16 at the time, that he dropped her off for school and he told her that he wished that he could be her Superman. And as a minor child, the grief, the anxiety, all of that, the questions, that the pressure I probably feel upon myself because I was the last one to see him, the last one to talk to him. Should I have said more? Should I have asked for more? All of that grief, all these individuals to me are going through grief and loss, but knows how each of them are handling it very differently. But 2 years to me is not enough time to, I don't know, be out there dating again, writing this book, all the backlash from it. You know, tWitch seems like someone who was going through a lot of trauma, hiding a lot from the world, having to figure out, you know, who do I show up as? The world falls in love with tWitch, but I just want to be Stephen. Okay, but Stephen has so much, you know, depression, anxiety, and things inside of him. Can both people exist? Would the world really have accepted who I was and what I was really going through? Okay. But I want to know your thoughts about this whole situation. Is it in poor taste? Is she breaking the stigma? Are there better ways of her, you know, writing a book about her experience? But I think we're about to go through an explosion of mental health. We're seeing a lot more things in the news about people succumbing to their mental health symptoms. But I want to make sure I also put on here this hotline in case anyone else is having issues, needs someone to talk to, that there is help out there. Don't feel like you are a burden. Don't feel like you have to suppress your feelings, your emotions, that there is help. There's a hotline, 24/7, a chat hotline. Make sure you reach out for help and work through the things you are going through. But let me know your thoughts because, of course, This situation is going to ever be evolving. I wonder if the family might try and sue or do something with his estate where she can't speak anymore. But I also don't think that they really can, because she is the wife and she's in charge of his estate. Even though I'm sure they're probably looking at legal options of what they can do. But let me know your thoughts, because of course we can get into it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.